we're moving on, Jeremy.
This is your time. This is your time to shine.
I'm so excited. We're finally digging into the 2025 MLB draft. So I guess you're gonna like put a quarter in me, and I'm just gonna go. And what we really wanted to do today, because we're sickos and we want to talk about the draft in March, is we're gonna start with the case for 1-1. And we actually did an episode just like this last year, where we talked about guys like JJ Weatherholt and Travis Bazzana, who ended up going number one to Cleveland. And we're going to essentially have that same conversation and run through some candidates at a really high level to make sure that people who are even casually interested in the draft know some of the names that are possibly in the mix for this number one slot in what is looking like an absolute mess of a draft coming up in July.
How excited are you?
I'm extremely excited, even though I'm not very enthused about this draft class. Just to get started and dig in, and also to see who you're interested in, who you like, because we always have slightly different preferences and perspectives on prospects. And I always get to this point, I'm like, oh, Jeremy hasn't like gotten super into the weeds on the class yet, and then we start talking about it, and it turns out that you in fact have been doing plenty of reading and research and know your guys plenty well as well. So I'm excited to see who you like from the names that we talked through and how that might differ from guys I maybe like.
So it is March.
It is.
By the way.
All right. Is.
So we're going to start with guys that typically you see at the top, one or two.
Yep.
I want to go out of order here because I think it makes more sense.
Okay.
So the guy that comes to mind for me first is Ethan Holiday, brother of Jackson, son of Matt. The funny thing is that, well, however many years ago, 5 years ago, Jackson Holiday was not in at this time was not the case for 1-1. 3 years ago only. Jeez.
I know. Yeah. I know, it's wild.
And I remember there's a Twins Daily article I posted, basically this in writing, and somebody said, well, what about Ethan Holiday? Excuse me, what about Jackson Holiday? And I'm like, that just isn't there yet. Well, then 3 months later, he is the guy, and then the number one prospect. So start with the youngest Holiday. That's just, well, he's the youngest Holiday. There's one that's younger, but the younger of the two now that's going to be draft eligible for the first time, Ethan Holiday.
Yeah.